Book of Chronicles, chapter 23. Welcome back to Bible Breakdown. Today we're reading 2 Chronicles 23. For 6 years, the rightful king has been hidden, while Athaliah rules Judah after trying to destroy the royal family. But God has been preserving his promise all along. In this chapter, Jehoiada the priest courageously leads a plan to restore the young king Joash to the throne. We'll also see the people renew their covenant with the Lord and remove the worship of Baal from the land. In the 7th year, Jehoiada strengthened his resolve and made a covenant with 5 military commanders: Azariah son of Jeroham, Ishmael son of Jehohanan, Azariah son of Obed, Maaseiah son of Adiah, and Elishaphat son of Zikri. Together they traveled throughout Judah and gathered the Levites from every town, along with the heads of the Israelite families. They all came to Jerusalem. The whole assembly made a covenant in the house of God concerning the king. Jehoiada said to them, "The king's son shall reign, just as the Lord promised concerning the descendants of David." He then explained the plan. 1/3 of the priests and Levites who came on duty on the Sabbath would guard the doors. Another third would stand at the royal palace. The final third would stand at the foundation gate, while all the other people remained in the courtyards of the house of the Lord. Only the priests and ministering Levites were allowed to enter the temple, because they had been consecrated. Everyone else was to follow the Lord's instructions and remain in their assigned places. The Levites were to surround the young king with weapons in their hands. Anyone who entered where they were not permitted was to be put to death. They were to stay with the king wherever he went. The Levites and all Judah did exactly as Jehoiada commanded. Each commander brought his men, both those coming on duty and those going off duty on the Sabbath, because Jehoiada had not dismissed any of the divisions. Jehoiada gave the military commanders the spears, large shields and small shields that had belonged to King David and had been kept in the house of God. Then he stationed all the people around the king, each with weapons in hand, from the south side of the temple to the north side, surrounding both the altar and the temple. They brought out Joash, placed the crown on his head, gave him the testimony of the law, and proclaimed him king. Jehoiada and his sons anointed him and shouted, "Long live the king!" When Athaliah heard the noise of the people running and praising the king, she went to the house of the Lord. She looked and saw the king standing by his pillar at the entrance, as was the custom. The commanders and the trumpeters were beside him, and all the people of the land were rejoicing and blowing trumpets. The singers with musical instruments were leading the celebration and songs of praise. Athaliah tore her clothes and cried out, "Treason! Treason!" Jehoiada the priest ordered the commanders in charge of the troops, "Bring her out between the ranks and put to death anyone who follows her." He had said this because he did not want her executed in the house of the Lord. So they seized her, and when she reached the entrance of the horse gate at the royal palace, they put her to death there. Then Jehoiada made a covenant between himself, the king, and all the people that they would be the Lord's people. After that, all the people went to the temple of Baal and tore it down. They smashed its altars and idols into pieces and killed Mattan, the priest of Baal, in front of the altars. Jehoiada appointed the priests and Levites to oversee the house of the Lord according to the instructions David had given. They offered burnt offerings to the Lord with rejoicing and singing, just as it is written in the law of Moses and according to David's directions. He stationed gatekeepers at the gates of the house of the Lord, so that no one who was ceremonially unclean could enter. Then Jehoiada took the commanders, the nobles, the rulers of the people, and all the people of the land, and led the king down from the house of the Lord. They entered the royal palace through the upper gate and seated the king on the royal throne. All the people of the land rejoiced, and the city was quiet because Athaliah had been put to death by the sword. Lesson of the day. Today's chapter reminds us that God always keeps his promises, even when it seems like all hope is lost. For 6 years, it looked as though the family line of David had been destroyed. But God had been protecting Joash the entire time, just as he had promised David. At the right moment, God raised him up to become king. This chapter also shows the importance of wholehearted devotion to God. When the rightful king was restored, the people renewed their covenant with the Lord and removed the idols that had led them away from him. True revival isn't just about changing leaders, it's about turning our hearts back to God. If you're enjoying these Bible breakdowns and want to support what we're building, you can check out our merch at BibleBreakdownsDaily.com. It's just a small way to carry the message with you. I'll see you in the next chapter.